get this party started. I want to just so much praise to Nate for covering for me last week in the community call on short notice. Thank you, Nate. Sorry, Zep, are we good on timing?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, buddy. I also want to dish amazing praise to Livia and Tam and Lauren, who all did a great job at representing the TEC in ETH Denver. I want to praise all the ETH Denver organizers for giving us so much of a shout out in so many different speaking events and giving us the stage in so many different ways. And I would love to praise Septimus and Edu and Chewy. Well, actually, Chewy was out here, but still, I feel like all the stewards were holding it down while Tam, Livia, and I were out hanging out in East Denver, missing everything this week. So thank you all for holding all of our stuff down, especially to Nate, of course. And and extra praise to Mitch for figuring out all the stuff to get Gardens to work for lowering the fees, the tributes.
Griff, would you like to explain praise for the folks here who are new?
Sure. So this is praise. We dish praise at the beginning of every call, every community call. It's kind of a mix of bringing out a culture of gratitude while also decentralized updates for all the people. We have all these different work groups and different people are contributing in different ways. And as a way to keep everyone up to date on what is happening, we have created this praise system at the beginning of the community call, so everyone can kind of, with a culture of gratitude, tell you what happened this week, and anybody has a chance to speak. And I'll pass it to Lauren first to go next.
Thank you, Griff. Can you hear me? Yeah. Great. Cool. I want to praise Tam for giving a great talk on being a steward and all the cool stewards nuances. I want to praise Livia for her talk on building a nurturing culture and just for having really, really welcoming, warm vibes. I want to praise Griff for helping me prep for panels and talks, and also for both of the talks that he gave at ETH Denver and Shelling Point. I want to praise Chewy for organizing the Taoist and making it so that we have speaker slots and making sure that we have some representation from TUC and from Giveth. I want to praise all the stewards who were holding things down when we were gone. Zepti, Edu, Chewy, Zepti, Edu, Wonka, Nate, and everybody else who's been supporting. I also want to praise Heather for being an awesome hiring person and bringing all the people into her and talking to so many devs and and I'll pass it to Wonka.
Thanks, Lauren. I would like to praise Durgadas, Septi, Nate, Eduardo, Gaian, Jeremy, Lynn, Bianca, Benz, Enti, Acid Laser, for being very participative in the calls these weeks, and for carrying the discussion while some of the other stewards that also deserve praise, like Livy, Griff, and Tam, were making presentations in ETH Denver. So also praise to them. And I'll pass to Septi.
Thank you, Juan. I want to give praise to Acid Laser. He also was covering comms a lot and also taking care of the tweets and for the Twitter account. I want to give praise to Tam, Livy, Mitch, Lauren, Griff, Chuy, Bianca for all the TC representation on ETH Denver. I want to give praise to Ivy for sharing all the feedback on everything. Every time I feel I'm doing something, she's sharing feedback proactively, so that's awesome. And I want to also give praise to Ratio and Enti for engaging with the transparency audit, and of course Nate for taking care of all the stewards calls and the community call last week. And with that, I'll pass it to Benz.
I'd like to praise Wonka, Edu, Nate. I'm sure I'm missing other people put in the channel, but everyone who stepped up to help facilitate and things in absence of everyone gone at ETH Denver. Lean, Jeremy for stepping up and doing the liberating structure stuff. It's super fun. I'm really excited about that. Gaian, NT for contributing to SoftGov and Gravity. Probably out of time. I'll put more in the channel, but I don't know who to pass to. Alan TV?
Yep.
Hey, thank you. I want to praise all animation and video production team. I want to praise Mario Rosso for translating the draft about the reward system video. And I want to praise all of you for being here another day. And pass it to Acid Laser.
Thank you. So I want to praise Septi, Ivy, and Radio for all the work they have doing with transparency and the new Snapchat voting coming up. Praise Tia Berry and Patty, great work they have been doing with the T Academy Communications. Praise Efra and Jayan for the interest they are showing at Comms projects. Praise Juanca for all his support at Twitter planning. Praise Tam, Livia, Lauren, and Greg for their amazing talks at Denver. And I want to praise Juanca, Tepti, Edu, Nate, and all the stewards that were here while all of you were in Denver, and they made a really great work. And I'll pass it to Chui.
Okay. I want to praise Nate for taking care of the Stewards working group while we were gone. I also want to praise Acid Laser and Mount Manu for all of the efforts around comms. Also praise Juanca for supporting communications as well as Septi. Praise both of you. I want to praise Griff, Lauren, Tam, Mitch for their representation in East Denver. I also want to praise the whole Giveth crew because they're coming to Mexico next week, and that's super exciting. I want to praise Lauren, Aperion. Who else did I meet in real life? Bianca. Yeah, so many people that I met in real life in Denver that I'll just praise in the channel, and I'll pass it to Lauren.
Lauren went right after me, so I can pass it for you. Let's go to Aiden. Aiden, do you want to have any praise to dish?
No, I haven't been in the call for a while. I just kind of saw that it was going on and I was online. So yeah, I wish I honestly came to Denver. I ended up going to Mexico for a bit. Hope everyone had fun there. Would have been cool to have met some people in real life. But yeah, no praise to dish. Happy to be here though. And
Nice.
I'll let you guys pass it to someone. I don't really have anyone specific to choose.
No problem, man. Thanks for jumping in. I'll pass it to Edu.
Thank you, Griff. I have almost no voice, so if you don't understand, let me know. I want to dish praise to the new folks who just arrived to the TEC and have joined our call, like Guy James. I want to dish praise to Satori. I want to dish praise to Benz, Aiden, to Ratio. Thank you for taking the time and being more involved with the TEC. I want to dish praise to Nate for his involvement with the Stewards and getting all that ready. I want to dish praise especially to Benz and Ginacy for helping with the community data. And I want to dish praise to Gideon for pushing forward the agenda of the user journey experience. I want to dish praise to MS for passing out and lending a hand to this process of the user journey. And I will pass it on to Mau Manu.
Okay, you caught me midway writing it, but okay, I want to praise Nate for stepping into Tam's shoes and coordinating the whole thing for the whole community. I want to praise Chui for organizing the Taoist and for representing us over there in Denver. I want to praise the whole Giveth crew because they're coming to the Taoist and I'm going to finally go be meeting you. I know that's Griff, Lauren. I don't know if that's Mateo. I'll have to find out for the praise transcription, I guess. But I want to praise Juanca for the gravity practice sessions. Well, I guess I want to praise Lean and Jeremy for those as well. And yeah, I want to praise Edu for being a great onboarding steward and collaborator. And I'll pass it. I don't know. I'll pass it to you, Griff. Thanks.
Nice. Thanks. I lost the screen. Let's pass it to Guy James. Guy James, welcome to the call. Do you have any praise to dish?
Well, it's my first community call, but I will dish some praise to Edu, Juanca, and Mount Manu for being welcoming on the orientation call last week. I don't know who to pass it to.
I can take it for you.
Okay.
Let's throw it to Nate.
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, I want to praise first everybody who helped support me this week. Edu, Wonka, Zepti, Mount Manu. You guys were awesome. I really appreciate all your help. I want to praise Mario for all the work he's doing on the reward system video. I want to praise Bins and Guyan and Ratio for being newcomers and just really engaging with the TEC and finding their little niche. And I really appreciate that. And I want to praise all the people at ETH Denver, Lauren, Griff, Tam, Livy. You guys did an awesome job representing the TEC, and glad to have you back. And there's Inti. I also want to praise you, Inti, while you're on my mind for getting involved with documentation and all the other initiatives that you're participating in. So with that being said, I will pass it to GCGD 2534.
Hey there. Just, I guess, praise to the group. This is my first ever call, so I'm just appreciating hearing the culture of gratitude that you're expressing, and I'm excited to learn more.
Nice. And normally, if you want to gamble, you can pass it. I can also pass it for you.
Yeah, if you could pass it for me, that'd be great. Thanks, Griff.
No problem. Let's throw it to Matty G. I met Matty G in person in East Denver, so let's throw it to you, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? I want to praise Christopher for helping onboard me to working on the Praise application project and for his awesome work managing the project. Praise ViViV for meeting with me and helping me figure out where to plug in, where I can be useful, and Lauren and Griff for their great talks about DAOs. And I'll pass it to Ratio.
Yep, sorry. Just took a bite of a sandwich when you called my name. I'd like to praise Streamer and Inti for their continued involvement with TEC and also the Transparency Group. Zeptimus for his continued support in the Transparency Group. Ivy for heading up the legal working group last week, where everybody was in ETH Denver, and her continued support in the Transparency Working Group. I also like to praise Jeremy and Lean for their awesome Gravity Workshop. And I will pass it to Inti.
Hey, thanks. There's a lot of praise to give. I'll start praising everyone, praising the whole community, because I've been here for pretty much 2 weeks, and I've been feeling pretty welcome. And it's just a nice community to be in. I'm seeing Griff here. I'd like to praise him. I like your talk a lot on East Denver. Also, Lauren's participation in some panels. What else? I'd like to also praise Edu and Nate, because they've been sort of taking the lead on most of the notes I've been taking here. And what else? It's a lot. I think he's been doing really great on this. Some people, I've seen some people like commenting on the help he's been providing for TC. And I'll finish with Ratio. He seemed very committed. I've seen him in a lot of meets and doing much for the TC. I don't know who has gone yet. Yeah, go ahead.
No worries. I can pass it for you. Thank you, Nancy. And let's throw it to John Jonas.
Thank you, Griff. Hi, everyone. I want to praise, first of all, to all of you that were representing the community in Denver. It's so amazing what you're doing. I want to praise the animation team for the efforts this week. And I want to praise all of you guys that are here today and hoping that you have a great weekend. And I'll pass it to Mario Rosso.
Thank you, John Jonas. Hi everyone. I want to praise first of all Juanca for encouraging me to keep learning about TC. Thank you for that. Also, I want to praise Edu, Nate, Mont Manu, and Durgas for all the energy that they are putting on the tech orientation meeting. I want to praise Nate again for saying yes on the suggestion to be the voiceover of the first video about the reward system. That's it. I go back to you, Griff. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mario. How about let's throw it to Mert?
Thank you, Griff. I would like to praise Zeptimus for Dune Analytics. It was awesome. I just checked. I just have chance to check it. I would like to praise Solsista, Letty, and Nick for creating for participating awesome working groups working style. And lastly, I would like to praise Manu, Nick, and Griff to be meet in person in Mexico. And that's it.
Nice.
I would like to pass it on.
We're getting down there. It's a tough one. Yeah, nice, Satori. Good job.
Hi, fairly new here. I like to praise Edu and Nate for the orientation. Everybody at orientation yesterday felt warm, so I dug into Omega Group and I like to praise everybody there for engaging and it being fun to have like an overview of what's going on here and try to find my own place to resonate with.
Well, welcome to the party, Satori, and I'll pass it for you. How about Osama?
Hi, Griff. Thank you so much. It's my first community call. So for praise, I want to praise Evie for coordinating with me regarding content creation. I want to praise Griff, Olivia for such an excellent talks at Denver. I want to praise Maria and Yenisi for coordinating with me. And I want to praise Tam for such an excellent talk regarding stewardship. So yeah, with that, I will pass it to Satori.
Oh, Satori just went, but there are only two left, I think. So it's okay. It's okay. I can pass. I'll pass it for you. It's getting tough. How about Adai or Adai? I don't know how to pronounce your handle. Do you have any praise to dish? Adai? Like Superman character? No? Okay. Mutes are hard sometimes. Oh, I see BFA just rolled in. BFA, do you have any praise to dish this week?
Hey, awesome. It's good to be around. I came in very late. Yeah, I think I will be giving praise for those who are able to attend the at Denver for Grief. And I think I'm sure of Grief, but I'm not sure of the rest. you know, and my apology. I just want to praise those who are able to, for the courage, in the midst of COVID and everything, be able to get to this event. It's awesome. It's awesome. So people that I can identify now, right now, that I can know is Grief, but I don't know the rest. Thanks.
Thanks, BFA. Always love the Loogie for NFT logo, and another awesome NFT logo, Bianca, who had a great who had a great hackathon project at ETH Denver. Bianca, do you have any praise to dish?
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, I would like to praise Griff for helping me during the hackathon week in Denver. Tam, Chewy, Libby, Lauren, and Heather to meeting me in Denver. It was really great. was very nice meeting you all. Juan for his great job in gravity and helping me write research. And yeah, I don't know who to pass for.
That's right. Good job, because there was no one to pass to. I think that's everyone. So we'll leave the videos off on right now, but soon we'll have to turn it off. Let me share my screen. So thank you so much for coming to Community Call number 71. Let's see if I can get the screen share to work. The internet's a little slow in this cafe, but yes. It's another great week in the TEC. Lots going on. As you know, we dish praise at the beginning of this call all the time, but that's not the only time we dish praise. Nate, thank you for sharing screen during the call. We can dish praise anytime through the Discord. It's a way that we can keep the vibes high in our community. So don't be shy. Anytime you see someone doing anything awesome that you think they deserve some praise for, put it in the Discord. Any Discord channel works. And also, we like to turn on our cameras and say cheese, so everyone put on your faces and put on a big smile. Someone will come through and take a screenshot eventually of this. But yeah, so turn on your screen, and while we're doing that, I'm going to read our values. So the value statement is how we like to operate as a community. So keep your cameras on and try to get some smiles on. Our Commons operates from a pro-social, human-centered perspective and prioritizes the advancement of token engineering over short-term profits. Integrity, curiosity, constructive inquiry, presence, and gratitude are foundational for maintaining mutual respect within our growing community. We encourage our members to be radically open source, non-hierarchical, transparent in their intentions, and accountable for their actions. So thank you all. Make a big smile, and now we're good. Thank you all so much. Also, to keep our vibes high, we have the Gravity group behind the scenes, trying to solve any conflicts. You can see on the right of Discord if there's you can see that there's active gravitons. If you ever see any kind of problem, big or small, between two people in the orgs, or even a person, any other larger issues that you feel like are causing conflict in our community, definitely go talk to any of the active gravitons that you see. Or you can also, if you don't want to have a direct line like that, you can also DM people, or sorry, you can also fill out the form. Oh, that's right. Let's turn off our videos.
Yeah.
That way Yanesi can come in.
Yep.
And if so, maybe I can ask Nate. Can you tell Yanesi to try to come in? She should be able to get in now. Cool. And then other news. So we have the Rock the Vote. So there's 3 votes open in our conviction voting DAO right now. Gravity is requesting funds. Team is requesting some funds to support TE Academy, and the translations team is also asking for some funds. So feel free to signal your support. These are actually old screenshots. I think the percentages are much higher now. But there's also these other votes that are on the Discord, or sorry, on the Gardens. They're DAO voting decision votes. So the first one was to actually update the fees, which passed. But then we realized, update the tributes. So we're going to reduce the 22% entry tribute to 20% and increase the exit tribute from 2% to 3%. But we realized that when we tried to make that vote that it could not pass because it was missing the permissions to actually change these rules. So first we have to pass this vote, which already passed, and it will be able to be executed in about 10 hours. Much praise to Mitch or Mach in this case, for putting up this vote and always being our DAO expert. So once we get out of the execution delay for this decision on the ground, on the lower part, then we can pass both of them. So yeah, and with that, I think I will pass it to Nate, who's covering for the Steward of Stewards today. Nate, do you want to take it away?
Yes, I do. Sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta get organized. Okay, so Stewards, we
Oh no, I can't hear anything. Can you hear anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear Nate.
What?
But actually, could BF8 turn off the video? Okay, great.
So yeah, so Can anybody hear me? So the Community Stewards Call is every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Eastern Time, Central European Time.
Can you hear Nate?
Can you guys hear me?
Nate?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you,
Yes, I
Nate.
can hear.
Yeah, I can hear Nate.
Okay. So the Stewards Weekend Group calls Stewards Weekly this week. We talked about Money Talk, which is really awesome. We got to talk about a little bit of what our plans are for the ABC and how that is operating. Let me pull this up real quick while he's reorganizing. We have the Stewards Weekly every week, the Stewards Council every week, and the Sprint Planning and Sprint Retrospective every other week. If you want to keep up with our Sprint Planning and Sprint Retrospective, we have that on our ZenHub board. Every Wednesday, we have our weekly call. Our weekly call, like I said before, was around Money Talk. We talked about liquidity provision. We talked about working group funding proposals. We discussed the different ideas around the TEC Convert page. And so we had a really great conversation when it comes to money within the TEC. Also, ETH Denver stewards are everywhere. Working groups for funding proposals have passed. So thank you for everybody who has voted on it. We still do have two more proposals, or actually three more proposals. Two Team DAO working group funding proposals, and as well as the Gravity proposal. So if you're around and you have tokens that are not allocated to any of these types of proposals, please put those down if you support them. We have our statement of commitments. Two stewards did not make their commitment, but they did this week. So thank you, Vi and Chewy, for doing that. Covered the money talk. Tam will be back. So she will be in charge of the Stewards Call from here going forward. Students' minds this week, the votes on the garden, the proposal inverter, deep skills, and next one, we have our TEC Intro to Token Engineering presentation that will be held by Edu, our orientation steward, and the Common Stack AMA is there now. And so I just want to make sure that everybody's got everything updated on this Community Stewards Working Group, and I will pass it to Wonka with Gravity.
Thank you, Nate. Yeah, we are trying to carry the flag of conflict management in the Web3 space. And we are doing that because we don't want DAOs to continue repeating the practices of violence that we have seen in nation states and in different social groups. So we want to be able to promote in Web3 communities that are able to manage the conflicts that they produce in a peaceful way. So that's why we are having both educational activities, and on Tuesdays we have our practice group of liberating structures and deep democracy with Lynn and Jeremy. Those practice groups are super cool, and we are exploring tools and frameworks to improve coordination in calls and in online spaces. Also, in Wednesdays, we have our weekly coordination call, and soon we will start a book club on Thursdays. We are still deciding the book, but I think one of the most options ones is a book that is called Leadership and New Science, and it says discovering order in a chaotic world. So we know we live in a chaotic world, but we that are building the future with technology should be able to provide and to see order in that chaotic world. So yeah, our idea is that these educational activities support the capacitation and the activities of a group of people that is able to mediate in conflicts in communities. So we want to not only be able to provide this service to the TC, but to provide it to other communities. And yeah, the Graviton training, that is like our certification practice, will start in April. And yes, we are super excited that the proposal may pass in the following weeks, and we have already started to work like a working group. And we already have like our structure of bounties. So I am super excited about everything that is happening, and I will pass to Softco.
Benz, were you taking over for Sofgov this week?
I was gonna moderate one. I can try to give some cliff notes if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Someone's got to do it. Otherwise, I'll make it up.
Yeah, I'll do what I can, and then you can.
Oh, Edu, did you have a plan to cover it?
Oh yeah, because I was the one who moderated this week.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
But it's okay. So basically, in between Benz and I, we were covering the SoftGov. In the meantime, Livy was away, and during this week, we basically covered how will you bring awareness and encourage governance. And we have two questions. The first one was about awareness and encourage about governance, and the second question that we had is: does everyone in the DAO should be involved in voting? Does everyone should be involved in governance? We had a we had a lot of conversation, and basically one of the outcomes that came out of this conversation is the need to educate people about decision making, and not necessarily governance but decision making. And then also one of the things that came about this is the need of explaining governance in the TEC and decision making here in a way that everyone have access to this information, because sometimes we sort of are not very sure about what is advice process. So here on the screen that is being shared, you can see the graphic that explains the process of governance, that most of the decision making, we encourage them to start with advice process, to ask for advice to the community, to the working group, to the colleague that you work with. And the idea of this process is that based on advice process, you can then take the right decision to put this proposal into the right spot. It could be a proposal for funding. It could be a proposal to changing parameters of the token. Whatever it is, you can propose to for us to extend the community call an hour longer if you want. Anything can be proposed. We encourage everyone to use this tool as a decision making option, and it all starts through advice process. So this is something we will be talking a lot probably on the next call of Softgov. We'll be explaining a little bit more about the advice process, and also we will explain how do we arrive to this point and why are the reasons why we do governance in this way. So that's a little bit about the conversation that was had this week on Softgov. And then I also have to do the next update, so I can pass it to myself, basically. And in Communitas working group, on the other hand, we basically talked this week about a little bit of what do we do next on our user journey. We have developed an onboarding process, and we started with this idea of taking the community data from our Discord, from our forum, and I praise Genesi and Benz for taking on the community data and trying to analyze, try to understand what we can do about the data that we have and how we can create actions towards the community that are based on data. And part of this narrative that we were talking and discussing was the narrative of praise. Praise is a very interesting tool to measure the engagement of our community. So we are trying to figure out with the reward system working group a way to use praise as a metric that can help us to reinforce the sense of engagement in our community. And so praise, so basically we will use the praise in a way that we will know, for example, who has been praised the most in the last week or last 2 weeks, and how we can make sure that people has keep the engage up, and who hasn't been praised even though they have been working a lot on the past 2 weeks. So that's a little bit of what we are talking about on the last call. Then also our working proposal for funding, our proposal for funding passed last week. So thanks everyone who voted on the Communitas working group funding proposal. And Gideon also, praise to Gideon that he is working on an approach to progress the work that we have been done with onboarding, and what are the next steps after you onboard. After you get onboarded, what do you do? Where do you go? So we are trying to come up with narrative around this journey for everyone. So that's also something we will be exploring. And then we have three main calls. We have orientation call, which I made, a lot of you, and I encourage everyone who wants to engage with new folks could come and join to orientation call. It happens on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. CET. We have then the community working group sync that happens on Monday, 8 p.m. So if you want to know about onboarding, if you're interested in helping with onboarding, if you're interested in knowing more about community building, come to our sync. And then finally, we have TEC Lounge. TEC Lounge last week, there were four of us, and Juanca was there also too. And we were basically just hanging out. We were just talking about what was the latest thing that you watched on TV that you liked. And it's a safe space, not related to work. So if you want to just hang out and, distress and focus about something else, please join us. It happens at 4 p.m. CET. And if you go to the text channel of Lounge, you will see a little bit of what every Friday we share on the community. So that's a little bit about Communitas working group. Now I passed it to Mert, I guess, for Omega. Or Solcista, sorry, you're here. Sorry.
Yeah, I made it today. Surprise guest. I'm sharing. Thank you, Eduardo. So last
Can you guys hear Solcista?
I cannot. Shabnam, are you there?
Shabnam, we lost you for a bit. We cannot hear you. So if you're
Mert?
talking,
yeah.
there you go.
Sorry about that.
If
I'm
she broke.
sharing.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Hey, so last week basically we started with our working style discovery. Of course, we've been working for over 10 months now together, but we were dedicated actually to really figure out how are we moving in these chaotic, complex planes or uneven planes. And we have this mirror board, which you can also check out with some facilitation tools that were suggested by Durgadas, of course, which actually helped to sort a lot for the ones who've been working for the past months, but also the ones who came on quite new, but still, took on the initiative leads and so on, as well as very newcomers. And that's one feedback that we get, that people want to onboard Omega. Token engineering ethics, this unity and diversity, what do we mean? Aren't we just, engineering incentive mechanisms? So everyone is interested in how do we layer this, how do we navigate this human aspect? But at the same time, it's also, it feels chaotic. For many, it is maybe too complex. So some self-selected guides are emerging in the in the working group, who are forming that experience. And also, I think last week we had some honest feedback, open talks, people really sharing what is important to them. So next week we'll be continuing. If you're interested in how one can make sense in such dynamic open systems and values emergence, then you're most than welcome to join. Maybe you can find some interesting insights. Maybe you'll get into the mood of Omega. And also, it seems we're getting into this new season, if you will, or new wave, where we really think about, okay, how can we actually really share not just knowledge, but also funds or energy. How can we really economize that, what is available to us? And we had a guest contribution last time about dynamic energy budget that vibed very well. So we will be continuing with those topics. Yeah. You can join next Wednesday at 8 p.m. CET. And with that, I give it to Tech Labs. Sean doesn't seem to be.
Nope, Sean asked me to cover for him, so I'll just run through the tech labs. Thank you so much, Shebnem. Always so cool to see what's going on in Omega Working Group, especially that Miro board. Really funny. I suggest anyone check out that Miro board just for some laughs. But TEC Labs, so much going on. There is on our Discord, we just finished today the last Solidity study group with Metaverde, so that's super cool. That happens tomorrow, I think. So 8 a.m. tomorrow, if you want to do the last Solidity study group with Metaverde, jump in. Always good to learn Solidity. Very exciting about what's coming up, though, with the Discord army. ViViV and YGG are going to build a Discord army for the blockchain for good space. So that's really exciting. And of course, there's a lot of action still going on with the proposal inverter. This happens in PrimeDAO's Discord at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays, West Coast time. And there's also a proposal inverter presentation on YouTube if you want to check it out. Super cool. And there's the TE Fundamentals course, which I think is pre-registration still open. Definitely check that out. I actually can't confirm if pre-registration is still open, but you should give it a shot. If you haven't taken the TE Fundamentals course, it's a must. It's a must. You will meet really cool people and you'll learn a lot. And I'm sure there'll be some POAPs at the end of it. Token engineering office hours from Longtail Financial and Block Science are always great. It's like a free opportunity to do some to get a deep dive, especially into the philosophical side of things. Longtail Financial does it on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon West Coast time in the U.S. And Block Science does it on Thursdays at 9 a.m. West Coast time via Zoom. So definitely check those out. And you can see all of these and more on the Tech Labs calendar. They have their own calendar. They have so many events going on. So definitely add that to your list. And if you want to get into if you want to start taking the deep dive into token engineering, this is the spot. Go to some of these events on the TEC Labs calendar. And with that, I'll pass it to Chewy for comms.
Thank you, Griff. Hi, everybody. In comms, we have a ton of calls on Mondays for syncing around the different teams that we have. And we have a general weekly sync on Tuesdays that you can attend. Our first two funding proposals are up, so we would really, really appreciate your support. Just go to our TEC Garden and you can stake your TEC tokens if you want to support communications. Some updates around the teams are the TE Academy team is working in a TE Fundamentals campaign. This is going to be a bachelor's degree that the TE Academy will be offering on Q3 for 2022. So if you're interested in that, make sure you come close to the TE Academy. Animation and video production is working on a reward system quantification tutorial. So this can be an easier and accessible tool for newcomers to get a hold of how the reward system works. Around HubSpot, we're working in our newsletters with different updates around the working groups in the TEC. Translations are moving on. More and more are being done, so please support our translations proposal. And our Twitter planning happens on Mondays, and this is the way we plan the whole week around our Twitter strategy and communications. So if you would like to join this effort, please come to our calls. And I really love this picture. And I don't know why I wasn't in a lot of pictures in Denver, but I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And with that, I'll pass it to Transparency. Septi.
Thanks, Chewy. Yeah, on Transparency, we meet every Monday at 5 p.m. CET. And if you can go to the next slide, Griff. And yeah, actually, I be mentioning this every week. Like we're recording the calls, so there is a TC protocol and terms and disclaimers. And then also another thing I want to keep promoting is like to help out building the audit. Like if you click the transparency around payments, like the thing like we just did is like we just paid like the young wizards, and then it's such very easy like for us to do the audit. Like if we like we made the contributors just ask for the funds in the forum, and then when you pay them, like you put the transaction there, so it's transparent. And yeah, this would keep things very easy to do the audit for the working groups. And then also if you go back to the and then also I want to say like the audit is like now every part of the audit have assigned contributors. So right now NT is picking the governance part, and then Ratio is working on the decision, Ivy on the processes, and I'll be working on the working groups part. And then also tomorrow we have a forum vote. Like right now, like there is a lot of multi-sigs from every proposal in the gardens that I've been personally with Ivy tracking and putting the names and who's holding everything. And then the idea is like to make this document transparent and available to the whole community, but some people raise some concerns. So yeah, like we decided to make a forum vote, and then let up the community decide like if we prefer know what's the TC money and have reputation on stake, or if we care more about the privacy of individuals. So that's a decision we have to do as a community. And also, this is not so much a transparency task, but I've been also contacting Gnosis for the for putting liquidity with TC and Gnosis, and actually like where I contacted them, they didn't have enough money. So on the next Wednesday, I will have a meeting so to explore more opportunities. But at the same time, when I make that proposal, other communities also reach out. So Right ID also reached out to me, like to also do like a token swap. And then One Hive is also having like a very cool project. And then the idea, like I'll try to facilitate calls around this topic, like make a forum post with everything that's going on that I know, and then we could collaborate there. And also having some space, like a weekly call for some time until we start developing those, because so if some people is not engaging on the forums, they maybe prefer engaging the call. So we make sure that we get feedback from everyone. And with that, I'll pass it to Legal.
Thanks, Optimus. Always great work in transparency. With Legal, I'll just sub in for Ivy because we tend to do these calls in the middle of her evening. There's always an open call for legal experts. We're still kind of working on the CV proposals and funding proposals. There isn't anything this week for a call. The call is actually 8 days from now, not tomorrow, but the Friday after. So if you want to dive into the terms and conditions for conviction voting proposals, which are basically done, then feel free to come in and give us a review. Also, the plan is to actually add these to our covenant, because One Hive isn't going to add a checkbox into when people create proposals or when people create challenges, because they already have the covenant, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to add our terms and conditions that have to do with the garden to the covenant, as they have to check that box before they can vote or create proposals or anything like that. So it's all a one-stop shop. So that's the big news in legal. And with that, I will pass it to. Oh, actually, I see Christopher is here. Oh wait, no, Christopher's not here anymore. Oh no. Let's see. Does anyone want to take it for a rewards working group and give us the big updates? I don't know if I don't see Mitch or Livia. I do know that there is a date finally for the rewards working group, but is anyone active in the rewards working group that wants to take on these slides?
I've got small updates, but that's it. The rewards working group currently is working on implementing the first praise quant, which is going to be taking care of all of the past rewards of the past couple months and the implementation of source cred. They're continuing to have meetings and they're finalizing the last parts of the reward system application. So that's all the updates that I have for that group.
Thanks. Terry Sakti, did you have something to add? No. Okay, cool. Well, that's our show, guys. I think we can end 10 minutes early. I will add to the rewards working group that that we are going to start doing the praise quants for past praise from all the way back from July. And I believe that the strategy is to do 1 month at a time praise quants. So we're going to need as many quantifiers as we can to get through all the praise that has happened in the last 8 months almost. So if any help is always appreciated, and I believe everything is ready, and we're just doing some final testing. And in early March we will start this, like March 3rd or 4th or something around there. So, and then we'll just keep doing it 1 month at a time until we catch up to the current moment. And then after that, I believe the plan is to do every 2 weeks we have a quantification session. So that will be super fun. If you want to really understand what the hell is going on in the TEC, there's no better way to do it than jumping into a praise quant, and I believe you get rewarded when you quantify as well. So don't be shy. Definitely join the rewards working group, and watch out for the upcoming calls.